Well, they say a quick game's a good game, and I suppose a 15-minute game with the Chinese civ in it must be a really good game then, especially if it's played between Leenock and Kasva. So we've got HRE from Kasva and Chinese from Leenock, sorry. And so Chinese, normally seen as an extremely turtly civ, so I was intrigued when I saw why this replay was so short. So we're checking it out, having a gander. Kasva going for a very early barracks here. So why would he be doing this? It's an extremely early barracks. Well, Leenock just gone for an official and is just chilling. So is Kasva going to go for early spears here, eh? Lumber camp going down. House for Leenock as well, just so he doesn't get housed. A house so you don't get housed. I'm not sure if that's how housing actually works, but... So Leenock was attempting to cut off Kasva's scout as he's heading into his own base. And realised it wasn't going to quite work. It gives him a good scout and it gives him knowledge that, I mean, I think he would have seen that barracks there. Yeah, he's seen the line of sight of it. And I don't know what, for whatever reason, half the time reveal map doesn't actually fucking show you what buildings they've actually seen. I wish they'd really fix that bug. But now we've got the spear production. It's a bit slow for Kasva. I wonder if he was better off going for the lumber camp first and then throwing up the barracks. Because then you wouldn't have to distance gather the wood. And that way you can just throw down the barracks, you know, and get the spears pretty much as soon as the barracks finishes. And it's pretty much the same timing, except you've got more resources in the bank because you haven't had to do this. But it is nice that everything's getting in power here. So all 12 villages. This is going to be a wicked boon to his eco. Basically going to perform as though he's got a lot more vills in the bank. Yeah, so they'll be pretty much square on vill count. But you can just see the difference in the gather rates there. So early double scout spear harass will at least allow him to get a lot of map control and maybe look at pressuring this. I don't know. He's going to have to bring across some vills for a tower, I expect. So he's bringing across 5 vills. Did he do that just to scatter his opponent's hunt as much as possible? Just to like a mind game thing? Because I suppose by running the spears across this way as well, it keeps the vills out of sight. Because unless the scout was sitting like right there in the stealth forest, or like right there, sorry, it wouldn't have seen them. But now Leenock is going to see the spears, and I mean, see the vills, and I mean, he'd probably expect them considering such an early spear push. But Leenock having to commit to an outpost with a lot of vills and so quickly for his food. Well, he's probably going to have to go for one on his wood and or his gold now, because he spent these resources, while Kasva can always just take this in a spot where it's safe from the tower, while the resources he's trying to gather aren't. So Leenock's got to put a tower a bit closer now to try and really zone this tower from Kasva, but this time the tower's going to go up anyway, and now Leenock's had to invest a little bit to defend himself here. Got a lot of villagers and his official in garrison, and he's had to pump out another official early. Well, these vills, ooh, they might be right. Yeah, they are going to be right to get this tower off. While Leenock himself is going to have to get a tower off, so Kasva really putting the pressure on his opponent. I think he's got a bit more gathering while all this is going on. I think Leenock was actually housed there, but he lost a Vil. Ooh, but Leenock's going to try and tower both sides of his wood. But I mean, if he commits to this and Kasva manages to just wander away and try and... Oh, the spears have actually interrupted the gold as well while this is going on. One of them has, so that's really crafty. Nice work for Kasva. So if he actually acts as a bit of a nuisance for Leenock, these Vils are going to have to wander all the way around and get picked off now. So, oh yeah, so Leenock's had to get a gate just to get his Vils to come back home. So pretty much would have costed the same amount as that many walls. One of the Vils getting picked off there as well. So Leenock trying to force up a early tower for defense. Ooh, Kasva sort of panicking there and getting killed because I think he was trying to go for this bloke and then deciding, don't know if it's going to be worth it. Ooh, another one of the Vils for Kasva falling. But he's really able to interrupt any of the gathering of the food or the gold here for Leenock at the moment. So he's just got to rely on his initial sheep there. And bearing in mind, both of our players are still in Age 1. And Leenock is 11 gold off aging up, getting the Barbican. Kasva back at home. Does have enough for Arch and Chapel. Got a lot of Vils committing to this. But bearing in mind he still has a Vil down here to deny the gold. Still has all these troops in his towers. Just look at sending a handful of spears behind this. He's got a little bit of... oh, he doesn't actually have any food in the bank, sorry. But he's got enough Vils in queue that he should be okay here. And he is going for stone. So is he going to get arrow slits on his towers? But Leenock committing to spears himself. But Rax v Rax, I mean, there is going to be man-at-arms access here for the HRE player. Now Chapel's in a great spot because everything other than these stone gatherers is benefiting from that. And I imagine this is just to take arrow slits on all the towers. And Leenock knows he's going to have to try and bring this one down before arrow slits goes up because it's going to slightly outrange and outdamage all the other towers around it. Might even be able to focus down a couple of Vils on the wood line. So Leenock's going to try and bring it down, but he is going to lose a couple of Vils for this. Tower does pick off 3 Vils, so Kasva's really gained enough value out of that arrow slits upgrade. He is going to lose his troops in the fight here though. Oh, actually I think he slightly outnumbered Leenock's army there. So things went great for him, but Leenock could possibly throw this, snatch this fight back if Kasva sticks around. But meanwhile, Kasva going to take out this outpost on the gold mine of Leenock, going for a triple arrow slit towers, and going to even put a tower up just outside of the other outpost range, but inside of the TC fire. The Vil's safe though, and Leenock able to finally go to his Age 2, so he's getting Imperial Academy first, doubling the gold drop off of these officials. So quite useful, but I'd say Barbican at least would buy a lot of space somewhere on the map, because then I mean it'd make it easy. Like if he Barbicans here, at least he can like contest the gold and the stone quite easily, but going for this also means that his 2 officials are going to basically gather twice as much. Except on this stone, funnily enough. I don't think the range is that large. Leenock's going to have to defend this with all his life because now Kasva is pretty much... He's got a lot of stone in the bank, but I don't think he's even going to bother to go to second town center. That's all just there to make sure he's got enough for as many arrow-slitted towers as he needs. Hasn't got it on that one yet, but he's got it on all these others around the gold mine. Yeah, it's just funny that Kasva's stopped gathering there. Yeah, here we go. Arrow-slitted towers. They're cheaper for some reason. Kasva now interrupting the stone gathering of Leenock, but instead of that, Leenock's already got enough to go for his second town center here. I think Kasva realizes that Leenock's just going to try and play greedy from here to get ahead. So he's going for double ranges, so he's really going to be able to look at pushing into Leenock, whose base is quite wide open. And Leenock trying to go for a town center here, but Kasva's already going to see it and going to be able to start towering up inside its radius just to be able to prevent any of the food gathering here. Leenock's got basically his whole eco minus 5 villages trying to force up this TC. He's going to get it built. Kasva going to have to back off, but what he is going to do is go for a very quick blacksmith here and try and get siege engineering, I imagine, because he's got all the troops he needs. He just garrisons the villas here, grabs siege engineering, and he should be able to push with a ram fairly quickly, I think. Considering, yeah, he's got double range production. Leenock's had to play so heavily around greed at the moment and around defending. He would have dropped a lot of gathering time trying to get this up over here. The only safe spot on his initial wood line. So Kasva's done a wicked tower cheese on him so far. Leenock probably even needs to look at cancelling that outpost here because he's got not a lot of wood in the bank and he's really only got barracks production. He's going to have 1 stables v2 range production as well. It's going to make things quite tough for him. So yeah, siege engineering's finishing up. Kasva's readying himself to try and pressure from another angle yet again with his army. Now that he's got some archers in the mix as well, if he can hit this wood line or maybe pick off this official, it could be quite devastating for Leenock. And Leenock just needs to try and muster up as many horses, or yeah, as many horses as he can to try and break this. But then there's still spears in the mix, and Kasva can still get more spears. Whoa, so that snare really making that first horseman completely useless. And Kasva, having already sniped a Vil, going to be able to get out of here and have some towers ready to go. Just apply some more pressure yet again. So he's got a little bit more stone being gathered so he can double arrow slits over here. So if you didn't know, not only does it actually allow the tower to attack without units garrisoned, it actually increases the range both with and without units garrisoned. At least that's my understanding. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. And then you get the Fortify upgrade, and that's how you basically make them like an Age of Empires 2 guard tower. So this is a lot of Vils here. Leenock's pulled the boys to try and overwhelm his opponent here, and I mean, he could make this work, but if enough of his eco falls here, it's over. Like, he's down to under 30 Vils, and GG, he taps out from there.